And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Holotheatre. It's episode 101 tonight. Joining me, as you can see, is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Scotland Grail. At
Cheers.
some point, our beloved design advocate, Chris Kelly, is going to be on, but even though he's making that government money, he has a really slow computer. He's logging in, or he's attempting to log in. So as soon as we have Chris Kelly, I'll introduce the Mr. Yankees fan himself. There he is. How you doing, Yankee?
Hi everyone. Sorry I'm late.
You know, so what's your excuse?
Computers.
I was enforcing the laws of your nation.
That
What
works.
law?
All of them.
So I like how you're in your Star Wars polo. Scott, you're not in your Star Wars polo. You're in a nice
A
hoodie.
shirt. Yeah.
What type of show is this?
I know.
Yes.
Well, I'm still waiting on the PC to get me my shirt. Where's my shirt?
It was mailed to you.
I haven't gotten it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look. It was 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks?
Ago. Yeah, so I'll have to find out. Okay.
Wow. I knew the mail was bad, but I didn't expect it to be that bad.
No,
So
I'll look. We'll
okay,
find out.
well, so tonight it's episode 101. We're going to do a lot of talking about, like I know I posted this on Facebook earlier. We're going to talk some worlds. We're going to talk some set 16 with our previous guest of the year. But more importantly, we're going to talk about Holotheatre. So I know you guys have been on Holotheatre a few times. Am I wrong?
Lots of time. And I love it every time.
Like, so what do you guys think? Like 101 episodes. It seems to me it seems like an insane number.
You
I
know,
remember watching the first few episodes thinking this is a cool distraction. I didn't know it was going to take off like it has. So you guys have done a great job with it. Something to look forward to every Wednesday.
absolutely. Yeah, you know, it's just an enjoyable time to talk about the game. You know, it's just awesome. You really have taken it to the next level, Dan. I'm not gonna lie.
So, like, here's my question to you. Like, okay, so have you watched since episode 1? Like, and it's when it first started, like after the reboot with Jerry, or have you just like, was it something that you were like, oh man, I'm gonna be on Holotheatre? What is this? What are they trying to do?
I've watched most of the episodes, so I mean, yeah, I was involved in watching them. I know when I was at work, I would watch them. When I was here, I'd watch them. Absolutely, I enjoy it. So
What about you, Chris? Do you enjoy watching these?
Uh, Usually.
Usually?
No, they're usually great. Like I said, something to look forward to on Wednesday. I definitely remember the early episodes and the way you've like just improved upon it and taken off, and with the regular segments, swing and a miss, and like Scott said, it really is. You've done a great job. Here we are, 101 episodes later, and it's still thriving. It's still doing great.
So, on that, like, what's one thing about Holotheatre like you're hoping that in the future we can do like a step forward? Like, I know you said that we come a long way since episode 1 to episode now 101, but obviously, like, coming from the advocate standpoint, is there something that you wish we would do a little bit better, or work on towards the future?
My favorite segment's swing and a miss. I love those questions, and this isn't necessarily a show thing. It's maybe more of a community thing. I love it in the chat when people give their responses and they debate and just give different perspectives. And then when the guest gives their answer, if it's a swing or if it's a hit or whatever, I think that's probably what I find most enjoyable about it.
you know, I actually enjoy having the guests on. So I enjoy just hearing the stories, talking about things, learning about people that I really maybe don't know much about. And I, that's something I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So even last time I was on, right, being able to learn about a player that maybe I didn't know as much about. So that's my favorite part, is learning about the guests. And I don't think, listen, this is I don't think there's anything really you need to do better. I think that's silly of a question to ask, because I mean, obviously we're always striving to do better, but I think it's just a matter of enjoying it, seeing what comes naturally, and if you feel that something doesn't work or something does work, go with it, right?
So,
My daughter and I watched. She liked wrestling, so we watched it the other day, and I guess their new philosophy in this company apparently is, just wing it and go with it and trust your instincts. And that's the same thing with you, I guess. Is just
well,
trust your instinct, trust the guest's instincts, and it'll work out, right?
well, for the most part, like we do have some errors, like with Chris Kelly's now frozen on screen. Like I would love to get, I would love to like have a cattle prod or something to be like, Chris, come on, say something, fix your computer.
Like,
But
huh? Hey, listen, technology, right? Well,
yeah,
I might be having a hurricane, so or not a hurricane, a tornado coming through here later in
mm-hmm.
in the shows. You never know what's going to happen.
So here's my question. So here's the next thing I want to talk about. So what do you think, like as like in the Star Wars world, like how has you from a professional impact, how do you think Holotheater has like helped Star Wars? Like obviously we've getting out more information. Like I know Chris, you want us to be like the go to for all information regarding the game, like and news and stuff. Like, do you want us to continue that? Do you want us to like work on that? Like with Set 17, do you want us to be like, boom, let's drop all the spoilers? You're muted. I can't hear. We can't. Scott, can you hear Chris?
No, I can't.
I mean,
Well, let me tell you about it from my standpoint
okay.
first. Is that okay?
Yeah, that
While
would be
Chris figures
perfect.
things.
'Cause, don't get me
So
wrong. I
we were
love it when
talking,
Chris is muted.
no, that's okay. So we were talking today, right? There are like 400 people in Discord right now, right? In
Mm-hmm.
the Star Wars Discord, and it's cool to see those people discussing things and learning about stuff. And part of it is, hey, Holotheater's on tonight. Let's kind of see what's going on. So I think having that information come out on Holotheater is awesome, right? You want the spoilers? Hey, here's the spoilers. We definitely obviously have other people that do stuff like podcasts and other Twitch shows and things like that. We definitely want them to be involved. But at the same time, I love that we were able to release, the spoilers, and even the special episode where you kind of went over the images, right? That's something that we love to do, and hopefully we can continue to do every set going forward.
Okay, Chris, let's see if we got you back now.
My back.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yes.
He's unmuted, everybody.
Yeah, what Scott said. I kind of like how Holotheater's the news source. It's a nice, fun way with levity to break some stories, break some spoilers, and just talk about cards. It's cool because you can see the guests and interact with them,
Mm-hmm.
and get more of a feel of these people that we play with on Gemp all the time.
Okay. So let's talk about Star Wars CCG as a whole. Like I know next month we're only a month from Worlds, and I know I'm excited to go. Scott, you're going, correct? Chris,
Yes.
are you going to be there?
Hopefully, hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay, so I mean, you didn't commit to nationals when you're one state away. Why can't you commit to Worlds?
Work and life have me running around busy. Last month I really couldn't even play in the OCS. So I got a lot going on. Hopefully it'll slow down and get my Star Wars on. Obviously, my Star Wars time right now is devoted to other things rather than playing. So hopefully soon I'll have a little more time.
So are you saying that life is keeping you from going better than 1 in 11 in the OCS?
Someone must have conceded to me before turn 3. I don't know.
You
Hey,
know,
listen, it happens.
I understand it does happen, but when we see a guy who won the NPC and you topped 4 worlds, go 1 in 11.
Squirrel finds a blind nut or whatever, however it goes. Everyone gets lucky
Yeah,
sometimes.
everyone's. Yeah, here's what I'll say. Chris is obviously a good player. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
So okay, so are you saying that the meta last month was suboptimal, and that
No, actually,
the cards now
yeah,
are better?
no. I was just saying, sometimes you listen. There's always going to be changes, right?
Yeah.
Thankfully, we're nowhere near the full fleet V indoor event. But listen, there's always, I love the new cards. I love some of the new things. I'm actually excited to try your card, Dan, in some of the decks out there. So I've been trying out some different things, and I think that's the thing is everyone's getting creative. I got a buddy of mine, Ummer, has been sending Greg Shaw and I decks like all the time, all these new ideas, and we're
Mm-hmm.
loving it. So it sparks creativity, whether you win or not. That's okay. What really matters is when the event starts. Do you win? And everything else is just testing and having fun.
Okay. So right now we are a month away, and I know that the PC has gone on record in saying that everyone who attends is going to need to show proof of a vaccination or a negative test. And being that
Yeah.
there's still the Delta variant and everything that's going on, is there anything else that the PC can do to keep everyone safe and keep everyone's mind safe as we have all these other issues going on in the world?
Yeah, so I'll tell you right now that I do know that we ordered some special masks that are on their way that we're going to be giving to all the participants.
Okay.
That is a way to do it. Obviously the hotel is has certain things that they've done as far as air purification and making sure there's a certain amount of oxygen recirculated, but a certain amount of outside air that comes in. So everybody's doing everything they can. That's pretty much all you can do, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, because yeah, like I was talking to a bunch of people. Like there's like I know Kevin Shannon. I played him last month at the OCS, and he wasn't sure about going to Worlds. So, is there anything you can do to help those who are waiting to see what happens before they buy their ticket?
You mean as far as is the event happening?
Yeah, is the event going to happen no matter what? I guess is the big question.
Well, I mean everything seems. Listen, it's not going to be a 5,000 person event, right? But
Mm-hmm.
they have the events. I know Seattle's Seahawks said everybody's going to have need a negative test or this or that, and I think if you do that and you have a masks available and you have everybody staying safe, I don't see a reason why you can't. Um, but obviously we can't, we don't know what's going to happen as far as, if
Mm-hmm.
Washington, D.C. shuts down, there's nothing we can do there, right? Um, but as of right now, everything's good to go. I don't see why we wouldn't. But again, we've got to see where things go.
So I mean, here's the big question then. If DC does shut down, what happens? Are we going to go back to like online worlds? Do we have a secondary location?
Oh, well, no. I mean, that's the thing is if DC shuts down, could we move it to, right outside Virginia? I guess we could. Um, we'll have to, that's, we've got options, but again, maybe at that point it might not be safe if cities are shutting down, right?
Yeah.
So I think at that point, maybe we figure out a way to give people resources and help them get, refunds on their tickets and refunds on this or refunds on that. But again, I don't foresee that happening. But look, I mean, everything's been up in the air, right? We have no idea.
Yeah.
But as long as things continue to get better, or stay, where people can, do the things. I know the vaccinations just hit 75% for all the adults in the country, so that's a big deal. And that's all you can hope for, is that it keeps getting, I don't know, under control. I guess that's the best way to
Mm-hmm.
explain it. I'm not really.
Flattening the curve.
Flatten the curve.
Yeah. I mean, listen, what work, right? Vaccines, masks, you know, uh, doing certain things, safely. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I mean, yeah, I'm still excited to be there. Worlds in person is like nothing else. Uh, it's going to be a fun event regardless. So
Yeah. And listen, obviously safety is very, very important. And Chris Schoen said, we're gonna, he's gonna be the one to work with everybody. If there's concerns, questions, talk to them, talk to him. But I think it'll be fine.
okay. So how are you yourself? You said that you and Greg are getting deck lists and everything. How are you preparing for Worlds, Scott? And Chris, I know you said you're on the fence right now. Are you preparing just in case you go?
I'm definitely preparing my teammates. Um, I think I've said it before. I think Jared's one of the better players in this game who people don't give credit for. I really think he has a shot to do something great this year. So I've definitely been preparing him, and in doing that, preparing myself, I guess. But and Scott earlier said, and I wanted to piggyback off it. This last set, creativity. Uh, Jared and I are just having so much fun playing cards, and that's like a new thing for me that I'm rediscovering how much I like playing this game. Um, that every night we're just throwing decks back and forth, and even if we win, lose, get blown out, we're both having a great time exploring it. So I guess I'm preparing as if I'm going, but more so, I think Jared is going to do pretty well this year.
Okay. And how about you, Scott? Are you online testing, or are you just going with something
No,
crazy and innovative like you normally do?
I am not right now. But I know, in talking to people, I know what I'm gonna be fine.
Okay. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about Worlds in a little bit, but you know what? I think it's time to talk about Set 16. Last Friday, I had the pleasure of revealing all the images and the final game text and everything. So let's talk about the man who worked on Set 16, and let's go a little bit into the mind of Chris Kelly. So, Chris,
That's not a place to
that
be.
isn't a place? Well, I mean, besides being a huge Yankee fan, like, what else is there to really think about? So, I want to hear from you guys what some of your favorite cards from the set are. Like, I don't care if it's gameplay, image wise, just like, I don't care if it's like, I just want to hear what your favorite cards from this set are.
Yeah, I'll let you go, Chris, first.
Well, first off, when you say the man who worked on it, I don't think people realize or maybe appreciate the amount of work so many people put into this. I get way more credit than I ever deserve. Like, if people knew the amount of man hours Scott put into this set,
Yeah.
it's insane, and he deserves so much credit for everything he did. That the set wouldn't be the set without Scott, and so many others too. As far as my favorite cards, communing, I can't give those guys enough credit that came up with that. I think all three Jedi Ghosts are fun. I think I do now think that there's a best one, and there's also one that I think is the most fun. So I'd say communing, and also your card, Dan Vader. Um, so much is unexplored with him in going into Asm or any deck where evil is everywhere, or even putting evil is everywhere in Hunt Down is kind of cool and exciting. And the image on that card is just bonkers cool. Those are probably my favorite cards.
Well, I'm going to touch upon that really quick. Like, I for one, like, the image to me is okay. I'm not a big fan of like 3D renders and everything. I prefer more of like actual people on the cards. But hey, if people like the image more, you know what, I can't complain. Uh, Maybe I'll have an input with an AI and be like, get something that I really like as the AI and everything, and I'll hand those out. Actually, you know
Oh,
what?
get on
Speaking of,
graphics and make one. We're all for it. I
yeah,
think the image is great, but definitely,
but speaking of
and
which,
the images in this set just amazing.
oh, I'm
The
not
graphics in it are
discounting
great.
that at all. Speaking of which, you know what? I know Scott said I might not be able to give something away, but you know what? I'm going to give away. Uh, let's give away some foil. Let's give away a foil Vader. That foil Vader. Like, this one is going to be like just a. Well, Scott, am I allowed to give out a foil Vader?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
You can't put it on the
absolutely.
spot like that. How can you say no?
that's why I asked him like that. No, I would be more than willing to give out some hacks of Holotheatre heroes to our audience tonight. Uh, I will say this though, I have a backlog of those. I got a personal problem that I got to talk to Amazon about with my ink cartridges, but that's besides the point. But yeah, let's give out a foil Vader. So uh, we got a few people in the chat right now. Everybody just, I want everybody to say Vader in the chat, and then I'll do a random number generator. So that's how we'll do
Hey,
it. And, huh?
while you do that, can I talk about one of my favorite cards while you talk about
Yeah,
that, or
no,
no?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, let's talk about your favorite cards too.
So I really like the idea. So one of my favorite cards has always been like Forlom, right? And I really like a Sith Legend because I one of the problems that I find is that there are going to be decks like Lando, that the extra Destiny, or Rey adding to the +1,
Mm-hmm.
or Anakin adding +1 to the Destiny, that just really bug me. So I like having this card to be able to kind of offset those issues, especially with Maul, right? You got Maul being able to
Yeah,
subtract else on the table, and you need to keep your guy alive, and this is another way to stop one of those key characters from really extra Destiny or adding to it. I really like that card a lot.
so which one is it? A Sith Legend?
Sith Legend, yeah.
I'll tell
So
you
I
what.
like it because and you can cancel a character with your Dark Jedi, I guess.
Yeah,
Jedi character with your Dark Jedi or Inquisitor. So I just really like that part of it. The other text obviously is good, but that part I just love being able to have it and getting it,
yeah.
using it.
You know what? I never realized how powerful that card can be. Uh, I
Yeah.
want to say I was watching a game the other day, and the dark side player played Maul Strikes, and he drew, I want to say, like a 4 and a 3. His opponent draws a 4, and then he drew a 3. He played a Sith Legend to make it a 2, so he won the duel. That's
I
just
think you're
crazy
thinking.
to me.
Is that the? I think you're talking about a different card.
Which one were you saying about?
A Sith Legend.
Oh,
I don't think it's subtract.
I was thinking always 2 there are.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's good too. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the what? Is that the Bill Kafer card?
Always two there are. Yes.
Yeah. About time somebody plays with one of Bill's cards.
And I told Bill this, and Scott's card that he mentioned was by another player creator, Al Fuentes. Um,
Yes.
right now, can I give set 17 spoilers too soon? I don't know.
No,
Right
it's never
now,
too soon.
there's a card that I'm hoping that makes it, that boosts both Always Two There Are and a Sith Legend
Okay.
in what I think is a very thematic way. So stay tuned for that. Also, this puts pressure on D&D to actually publish the card now that I've kind of spoiled it.
There you go.
So
There you go.
hopefully, your guys' favorite cards will get even better next set.
Okay, really quick, let's give away that Vader, and then I want to talk about after I roll. I want to talk about some of the challenges that you guys had regarding this set in particular. But the person who's going to win the Vader is number 1, and number 1 is Joker, King of Jokers. So I think that's Chris Hall. So, King of Jokers, you won a foil Vader. But yeah, let's like, what kind of difficulties did you have going into this set? Like, was there anything in particular? Did like, how did playtesting like did? Obviously, playtesting did their job and produced some really good results and everything. But from the design aspect, what was some of the difficult things that you guys ran into?
First and foremost, with any set, I think the difficulty is navigating the meta. We have cards we want to come out, but then we have to ask ourselves, should they come out? Like that Jurassic Park line. You're so worried if you can do it, you stop to think if you should. So figuring out where we were in the meta, which obviously Lightside, in my opinion, which was not universally shared, Lightside was pretty far behind. So we thought we had some makeup to do, but just the same, we don't want a card of just lights, don't want a set of just light side cards. So the dark side theme being Scarif, we thought was safe and fun. Having Run Vader Run is fun. Shout out to Gassi. This was his last set on D&D, and that was mostly his brainchild. So he's moved on to bigger, better things. We miss him terribly, but Scarif was his, and so we're excited to release that for Dark Side. But then recognizing where Light Side was in the meta, we kind of had to push that, and the communing pod knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. It's so great. As far as difficulties, I think I speak for everyone behind the scenes that it's a lot. We wanted to release sets quicker, and volunteers do it, and they do it great, and they don't complain. And I'm always checking in, see, are you overworked, are you okay? And to a man, they always just stuck with it. They stuck with the mission. They got the cards out. They didn't just get the cards on time. They got them out early. So every volunteer, everyone behind the scenes, from graphics, playtesting, GAMP coding, D&D, proofing, everyone, if you see them, thank them. They did a great job. So I think difficulty-wise, it's just the volume and it's legit work. I know Scott would never say how much work he put into it, but he was so on top of everything. So I think that was probably the difficulty.
Well, that's why Scott's the man, the myth, and the legend.
Yeah.
No,
He's the Sith legend.
So one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to streamline the cards. So one of the problems we found is that like icons weren't the right size, or this wasn't the right size. So we basically put in a system of uniformity on what sizes are everything, even from whatever the credit on the artist to the credit of the player. What font size do you use? What location do you put for this or that? So set 16 is kind of the first set where we kind of put everything in place. And then what's going to happen is we're starting to redo all the sets. So set 9 is kind of being updated right now with that stuff. And we're going to start releasing all of the sets with new PDFs, new high-res images for GEMP and stuff like that. So this was kind of just tricky trying to get all that stuff in place. And it seems like almost everything is done. We're going to be ninja editing V16 images in a couple of days because we got something updated with the Destiny numbers, and we'll be fixing that. But it's not something most players will even notice.
So going forward,
and going off that, there was a very large thread with a bunch of team leaders and set production leaders talking about apostrophes. Just the detail that everyone's been going into is really, really impressive.
Yeah. So one of the things we figured out is that We're Doomed uses a different apostrophe than Figrin Dan on Decipher cards, and we didn't know that. And so we were like, well, we know what apostrophe they were using after that, so let's follow up and use this one that was used. Nobody realized it, right? Oh, here's something you didn't know. Did you know Darkside Naboo, on the side of the game text, has a blank black spot?
Yes.
We didn't know that. We thought it was something we did. We realized that it almost looks like there should have been icons there when Decipher did it on the Darkside Naboo. And they never did it. So we just found this out the other day, and we were looking over the cards again a 50th time. And we were like, where'd that come from, right?
I just thought it was black hole.
Yeah, that's what we'll go with.
But so I mean, so going forward though, you said that you're redesigning some of the older cards and everything graphic wise. Are you going to be reissuing V slips like foil slips and everybody to like say like how you did before? Like I know Luke Skywalker Rebel Scout was changed at one point. Are you going to do something like
Not
that
so.
to
Let me.
fix the graphics or no?
No, no, no. The graphics themselves, the center image of the card is not being changed. It's just the other stuff, right? So we're kind of centering the destiny numbers, doing this or that. If we need to give more foils out, we're more than happy to have a redemption program. That's not a problem at all.
Okay. Because I know like some people like if you talk to Brian Fred, he's all about centering on the card. That guy is crazy when it comes to like the images and like how everything looks aesthetic to him. It's insane. Like I never looked at a card that way until talking to him a couple months ago.
I mean, and that's the thing with like Christian. Christian was able to get me certain files that I needed to like the Destiny numbers,
Mm-hmm.
like the ring around the set icons and things that we just didn't have the right stuff for,
Okay.
which is just amazing. So listen, and proofing caught a lot of stuff that we didn't even realize, right? Um, and I don't have it in front of me, but apparently I think it's turn it off, turn it off. Some of the cards have a small circle in the lore that nobody recognized until we had a high res scan of it.
Hmm.
So go look at your Hoth turn it off lure and see if that has a little circle in it.
Awesome. That's interesting. Like I love hearing about like the little quirks in cards like this. I
Yeah.
really do. Like, but let's talk about again. Let's continue talking about set 16 and everything. So, how do you think the set is going to impact the meta going forward, especially with Worlds only a month out?
Chris?
Um, I think it'll close the gap between dark side and light side. I think Scarif has possibilities. I don't think it'll make a huge impact right away. The We're Doomed combo errata really catches things up for light side. Same thing with the free ride combo. We tried to make it so that the cards light side was including anyway could help attack gap a little bit without requiring more deck slots. And I've already noticed Shadow Collective taking a little bit of a fair hit to it. So I think that'll help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Communing's still an unknown, but I think it's good and I think it's fun. And you know, if I do go to Worlds, I love playing fun stuff first and foremost that is good. So I think communing is going to be great.
Okay. What about you, Scott? Any takes on the meta?
Well, you know, I don't have an official say on it, so I just think I'm really curious to see how we kind of talked about this last time, how the diamond aliens will affect my kind of scum. I also am curious how the commuting stuff's going to be. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
really fun with some of the ideas. You know, I just see everything changing a little bit. I do.
Awesome.
As long as we can get rid of Fombas, right?
Oh come on, the Fombas are just fun.
No, I know, I know.
Like I don't know who thought of that Famba deck, like the Famba OA, but that just seems like it's silly, and I kind of love it.
Do you know what I think of about that deck? Blast from the Past. The Damas Dema. Do you know who designed that card?
No.
Justin Pakes. Do you guys remember him? He does.
Yeah, yeah,
He
just
said that was
yeah.
the last card he designed, and
Wait, who?
I guess it was in works during course. But I
Who?
always think of him when I see that card.
Dems Dama, the
Yeah.
character that works with.
Yeah. The Fombas, the Famba guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah, the guy that. Do you know who Justin Pakes was? He was one of the designers.
No,
Dan. Yeah.
no. I'll have to get back into my Decipher
He
lore.
eventually became like their equivalent of a rules advocate.
Okay,
But yeah, he was a good guy, and remember him designing that card.
interesting. Okay, so I
And
think it's time we shift gears. We'll talk. Let's do some updates on everything. So right now with Worlds again, it is a month out. We currently have 5 players who are going to go, 4 who are registered for the main event only, and 31 for the entire weekend. I think later this month I'm going to give out a free entrance to it, so look out for that. Again, if you're looking for any more information on Worlds, again, it is October 7th through the 11th. Got everything right here, so if you're looking for any information on Worlds, go ahead and make sure you check out the forums. Really quick, looking at the September OCS, Thrawn 3661, who is Brad Reinhold, is currently 6-4, followed by Connor Britton. And then at Austin Madison up in North Cal is currently sitting in third at 3-9. He's the only guy to finish 12 games. Where's Tebow Dillon? Besides sitting here at 5-1, like I know that guy needs to finish. That guy finishes his games ridiculously quick. Why isn't he finished yet?
Huh. Hey, maybe I have a chance if I can go 6-4, right?
Yeah. And then currently this weekend we have a few regional events going on. Jared was posting about those earlier. I want to say it's Denver this Saturday. Philly is next Saturday, so that's the Coruscant region. Denver, I want to say, I forget what region Denver is. JagTech, you can tell me. And then Atlanta and Columbus are next Saturday as well. So if you want to get in some in-person games, go ahead and go, and you're close to those, go make sure you get out there and play some in-person games. Chris, you going to go to Denver this weekend and play?
Probably not, but maybe. I don't want to tell people, then they're going to bring their anti-Hitco cards.
What? You're going to play Hitco if you go?
I don't have time to make new decks. I haven't even printed out the new set.
I like
is
Hitco.
forced me to be lazy.
Hitco's got some, didn't some stuff help Hitco in this set?
I thought it was last set with the new Han.
Yeah, last set got the daughter of Skywalker, who was huge to helping it, and 3PO as well. I don't know off the top of my head anything in this set. But hopefully next set, there'll be a lot of cool thematic stuff for Lightside.
Looking forward to it.
I'm hearing this talk like Chris Kelly's trying to say he wants to deliver something. Are you trying to like give out a hint as to
I
what
talked
you're
about
going
how hard the volunteers were working, and it's all true, and it allows us to be sets in advance. So while you guys are figuring out the 16 meta, I'm off on 17.
Well, why don't you give us a hint? Give us give a cryptic hint as to what we can look forward to.
I think I did a few shows ago about watch one of the teaser trailers for one of the sequel trilogy movies, and you'll have a really good idea where my head's at.
Your head's in New York, all about Derek Jeter and getting inaugurated into the Hall of Fame today.
Except for that one guy.
What's up with that one guy?
The one guy that didn't vote for him. Hey, real quick, can I tell you something?
Yes.
I watched the last episode of season 6 of Clone Wars, which I didn't know was the last episode. And that was when, or I think it was the episode before that, where we saw the image of Qui-Gon with the lights. I didn't no idea where that came from. So that
On
and
the interrupt,
the communing cart, and then the interrupt, and as well as Savage Press a couple episodes back. I had no idea where that person came from, and I saw it on the card all these years, and then I see it in the show.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
I think there's one more season, right, of Clone Wars?
Yeah, we didn't know what it was. Yeah, we're about to season 7, so.
It's a good season. It's really good.
Yeah, it should be. But it was just really cool to see that come to life on the commuting interrupt.
Yeah. Like you said, graphics is crushing it right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, gentlemen, are you ready for some swing and a miss questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, we got 4 questions tonight. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk a little bit about Set 16 and Worlds with these questions. So let's delve right into it. Our first question of the night. Darth Vader, betrayer of the Jedi, and Anakin Skywalker, Jedi Knight, will change the face of Star Wars CCG at Worlds. Let's start with Scott, because you're going.
I think, yeah. So the wait a minute. By far, I think Darth Vader absolutely will. That's going to be a hit, and only because of what he does with Padme and how prevalent Padme is in the deck. And I see them making a big impact. Absolutely. Anakin, I've been using. I like him a lot. I know his deploy is a little high. I think he's a miss, but the other one is definitely a hit.
Chris?
I'll go with what Scott said. I'll say it's a miss solely because of Anakin. Anakin needs a helper effect that makes him deploy 6. But Darth Vader Betrayal Jedi is great. And going back to the Hiko thing, that card kills Hitko. Because then all of a sudden you have to defend your Jedi Council chamber, and it'll be a bloodbath over a non-battleground site, which the dark side can hold all at once. And then if it loses the bloodbath, everyone's stuck at the Jedi Council chamber. So I think Vader's a great card in so many decks, but Anakin not quite there yet.
Yeah, I think you're right with Anakin. His deploy cost is a little high. Now, granted, he does a lot. Being able to draw 2 Destiny on his own is really good. And the fact that he's defense value 8 when he has a saber, he's kind of hard to hit. Like we've seen that with any of the Mauls.
Phantom Menace.
With the Phantom Menace, yeah. But yeah, that defense, that deploy cost, I've been saying it for a while. The fact that his deploy cost is an 8, especially when he's only a Destiny value of 1, if he had like even a 4, I think people would start trying to be putting him into more decks. I just say that regular Anakin is just better right now. Right now.
Yeah, I think something.
He does a lot for any character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think something like Mace or Qui-Gon where they deployed -2 somewhere, I think something like that in the future that made him deploy -2, I think would be really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 Destiny by himself, losing 2 Force really is thematic. I'd love to see him on he's a pilot, right?
Yes.
So, the Galaxy.
On his ship, I think is also really good. Because he does deploy cheaper on the ship. So I think in a space as well, I'd like to see him used in that. So I think it gives you some options.
Yeah.
He's a miss.
Something I love about both Anakins is the sand effects hurt him. I love that interaction where he hates sand and then the sand effects nullify both Anakin's texts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do anything for Vader's.
Creative.
It's kind of funny.
It is.
Like once he gets into the suit, he's definitely got like an air purifier to protect him from the sand. But yeah, actually, I like this comment from Justin Miyashiro in the chat. We're spoiled by a power creep right now. I think if he got a deploy cost decrease anywhere, that'd be fine. But default 8 feels like a good cost. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Like, look at Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight. Deploy 8, unless it's to Endor, Death Star 2, or the home one, but forfeit 9. But he has higher immunity, but you're only getting 1 Destiny. So I think it's a fair trade-off for what's essentially the main character for the prequel trilogies.
Yeah, it's a balance, right? It's always going to be a balance. Mace is always deploy 7. That feels really good. Yeah. Having somebody this strong be a base of 8 with some benefits, maybe if there's other cards that help him in the future, that does feel fair.
If that wasn't a Thanos statement, I don't know what would be. There's always balance.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, on to question number 2. Yoda communing is the most versatile, while Qui-Gon communing will be the most popular variant.
I'll let you address this one first, Chris.
Yeah. Because you talked about this earlier.
Qui-Gon is going to be the most popular. As far as versatile, that's tough because location wise, I think it's Obi-Wan. But character base, it's probably Yoda. Yoda has the least restrictive restrictions, um, but you're kind of tied into what he can pull if you go that route.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tough. I guess I would say it, but begrudgingly.
I think so. I love Master Yoda being able to pull some locations to give you some drain locations. It feels very
Yeah.
offensive, which is unique for Yoda, right? You think it would be more defensive. I love being able to play the lower corridor in Cloud City,
Yeah,
pulling
that's a
it,
good one.
putting your Dagobah Luke there, and we know certain players in the community will love that. Because it's
Yeah,
thematic.
it is
But I like,
thematic.
putting Son of Skywalker at the lower corridor, which is a drain two location, 3 with the lightsaber, making your immunity now less than 6, and having some of the Luke helper cards. I like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it can't be affected by image. It can't be stopped. I think it's a really really cool idea. Decks used
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah. You know what? I didn't even think about that because I mean I've seen a lot of people playing the Qui-Gon communing because they're like, well, I can play Jedi Master Luke in it and get him, and he'll be power. You know, you put him at the generator, and he's power +2, and it's a drain -1 site. Like, don't get me wrong, that's not bad, but I've seeing some of the interesting things that people are doing with that Yoda commuting, like you were talking about with the lower quarter. Or if you really want to get saucy, put him up in space. You got Camino. You can get Naboo. You can get uh, Endor. You can get Kessel and drain for 3.
Yeah, yeah, you could do that. I also,
Like,
but thing with, and the lower quarter makes your guy power +2 as well. So
yeah,
I like getting Camino to get the site. I like getting you can't get Dagobah, right?
I don't think so.
Can
It's battleground.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a battleground.
Oh, Battleground. Okay. So yeah, so you can't Jedi tech,
Kifix,
but Kifix. Kifix
Coruscant.
is always Coruscant is good. Dark side core or light side Coruscant.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's a lot of listen. I feel it feels very offensive to me,
Yes.
which is you because it does have the attrition immunity. The immune reducing attrition against you. But I really like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And that Luke is power +1 with that Yoda, so they work well together. Because remember, Luke had to run
Mm-hmm.
away from Yoda to go fight at the lower quarter, and also Anakin Skywalker pulls Son of Skywalker. So there's a lot of synergy going on there if you want to build your deck
Yeah.
around that.
And then he
Yeah,
pulls
I
his
mean,
saber.
yep.
God, it sounds like a dream of a deck if you want to start just pooling crap.
Yep.
You play,
Yeah.
what is it? Twilight is upon me to pull Anakin Skywalker to pull Luke.
They don't work together. That would have been crazy.
But
You're right.
still, I
Yeah.
think is one of the best looking cards in the game, and being able to use him, give him
But
immunity less than 6, make him power 7, give him a lightsaber. You're doing
yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
There's the deck.
There
Play it,
is a
Worlds.
deck. That sounds like a deck. Okay.
Give me the credit. Good.
And let's go to question number 3. This one's going to be a little again about Worlds, but more focusing on the team tournament. On the Verge of Greatness will be a popular team tournament deck.
It should be a popular team tournament name, that's for sure. Um, but I love that deck. I am excited to play it. I would absolutely play it. I'm going to go with a hit. I think people are going to try it out and have fun with it.
Same, agree. Yeah, and I love that. Try it out, have fun with it. The game. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vader moving to a battle you initiate or they initiate and it's not a react. I love that.
Yeah, that seems crazy to me. Thematic. No, I think first of all, think about all the good images for this deck. Like all the Scarif Darkseid like locations look pretty good. You got the Death Star, which is a good image. I really wish like Emperor's Enforcer Vader had a little bit better of an image. Like it wasn't just a set C slip. But I know the AI looks amazing, and I want to get my hands on one of those. Hint, hint. But yeah, like the objective just probably the prettiest objective I've seen in a long time. But yeah, like I wouldn't mind trying it out. Like it seems like it could be a fun deck. I wish that Darkseid had maybe a few more better like main guys besides just like Thrawn and Krennic, or not Thrawn, Tarkin and Krennic, like to go down and flip it. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like Chris Kelly, you're all about making helpers for decks that are new and dead.
Let's let this deck breathe a little before we declare it dead. It's been
No,
out
no,
a
I'm
week.
not saying this deck. I said new and dead.
Oh yeah, no, I think the deck's okay. I don't think it's gonna be top tier, but as you said, Vader running around, it just seems like if you make one mistake as a light side player, you're done for because you have the Emperor's Enforcer enforcing the Emperor's will across Scarif, or if he's in a starship, across space. So
Yeah.
I think it has the potential for blowouts if you're not careful. Just like the movie.
It's like Run Luke Run, but permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And he's +2. He's power +2. So it's
Yeah.
exactly like Run Luke Run. It's great.
And he's already immune to Clash and sorry, so why not? Okay, we got one question left, and this one is going to be
Yep.
a little bit personal for you guys. At least 2 advocates will make the top 10 at Worlds this year.
That's a miss. There's no way in heck.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Top 10? No way.
Is Jared going?
Yes,
I'm
but-
assuming Jared's going. Like, okay, the 3 that I had in my mind when I wrote this question that I could see doing it, in no particular order: Jared, Matt Carulli, and Chris Kelly. But because Chris Kelly's on the fence, it's just like, eh. So to me,
So
it's going to come down to
wouldn't
it's going to come down
discount-
to Matt and
Yeah.
Jared.
It's 2 or maybe 3 years actually in the NPC. I've been in the Scott bracket. It's terrifying. It's legit like even when I was in New York going to locals and playing Scott, it's a fun experience, but it's not a comfortable one. So I think Scott could definitely do it, especially if he's teching a little bit with Greg. It's a miss just because it's super hard to do. Last year was the first time I ever did. It's hard. It's hard. So I'm gonna say miss, but I think the advocates have the talent to do. I think if you put the advocate group against other groups, I think we'd do okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say miss only because I wanna motivate us, right? I want no, we'll see what happens.
I'm going to say miss because what have the advocates won recently? Like, okay, Jared, he came in second at what? NPC to Joe Olsen. That's probably the outside of Chris Kelly miraculously winning in the NPC a couple of years ago. Is probably the closest the advocates will ever come.
Now, listen.
So-
Carulli is an amazing deck builder, believe it or not, right? You know,
I'm going to say Carulli hasn't tested.
regardless, doesn't matter.
Like, Carulli is sitting at home
dominate.
worried about fantasy football. And trying to show up his brother. Justin is the better Carulli. The only advocate right now that I feel that is going, that even has a chance, is Scott. Because Scott's going to bust out something that Greg is playing, and he's going to just show everybody Don't mess. I'm not. I might be an old man, but I've still got some talent.
We'll see.
First off, I think it's very hard for advocates to win because while everyone else is watching Gemp games and teching and playing, we're working. Like that is a real thing. Our Star Wars time isn't growing our personal game. It's working on it. So I think it is hard. But I mean, Scott, how can you ever count Scott out of any one game? I don't know of anyone who would be comfortable saying you have to win this game and you're playing Scott.
So I'm just gonna
Like,
say this:
I don't know of anyone who'd want that.
in person,
I don't
I
know.
don't think
Also,
I've ever beaten
our
Scott.
Advocate Slack channel from now on is going to be playtesting for Worlds channel. So what?
Okay, I said it. I played Scott 2 years in a row in the start of the NPC. I lost all 4 of those games handily. Now,
Yeah.
Scott is probably the only advocate I actually fear going into playing because the craziness that he busts out. But
When I play Scott, I never use my grabber because no matter what ridiculousness is, I feel like he
That's
has
why you have
something
2.
more ridiculous.
you have 2 grabbers.
So I never use it.
Well,
You're not sure which one's the right one. Listen,
but I'm saying
Yeah,
it right now.
so
I don't
the
think any.
paralysis
I don't.
by
I don't
analysis.
think an.
I just-
Okay, I'm gonna put this on the table right now, and you guys can quote me this at World. No advocate is going to go better than 6. Or wait, is it 8 games? So no advocate is going to go better than 4 and 4 at Worlds. Who goes?
I think that's wrong, but I'm not saying both 2 people will make.
Hey, I'm trying to
top
motivate.
10.
I'm trying to motivate you guys.
We're good. Don't worry about it. I've got
I know.
motivation there.
You know what,
Appreciate that.
Chris? If you go and you go better than 6 and 2, I will send you 10 packs of Holotheatre Heroes.
How do you not give me a foil with my face on it?
You got to earn it. You got to. It's they're all random. Actually, you know what? I actually gave out everybody at Nationals who was part of it a foil with their face on it. So you'll get one. You'll get the Krennic version, but you won't get the Jedi Master one. But really quick before we end tonight, just as a reminder, this month's deck building challenge is you got to have the Holotheatre as your starting location. Jared has graciously said that he's going to be giving an oversized card to the winner of this month's challenge. So right now we only have one person who's entered, and funny enough, and I love this, he played the deck and one of like the 10-minute leagues.
Nice.
Yeah. It was the Labor Day 10-minute Jawa Blitz League. And I kind of like that. Like he played the system. So good on Mr. DJ Jackson for doing that. Like, dang. That's impressive.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, and he came out with the win. He posted the link and he posted the deck list. So, yeah. According to Jared, it's going to be the Amara Jade, the Talon card, and the Corn Horn oversized card. If you haven't seen those things look sweet and they're extremely hard to get. So, I think that's all I've got for tonight, boys. And so, again, I want to thank Chris and Scott for coming on tonight. It's always a pleasure, you two. I think this is one of the first times you guys have been on at the same time, besides the Advocate show.
Yeah, it's nice to be on when Chris is there.
Somebody to take the punches that I give out, huh? Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
I've gone on record and say I'm going to be nicer to Chris Kelly starting now. So you have that from the words straight from my mouth. I'm going to be nicer to Chris Kelly. So As always, it has been a pleasure. Next week, I'm going to be off. Jared is going to be doing the host, so look forward to that. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have some of the Bad Deck Breakdown guys on, and then at the end of the month, look out for the Hollies. Like I said, you've seen the Grammys, you've seen the Emmys, the Golden Globes. Well, you haven't seen the Hollies, so stay tuned for those. It's going to be fun. Until then, until 2 weeks from now, as always, good night and take care, everybody. Stay safe.